The whole it hurts the devs thing is also bullshit. I'm sure they see the problems too, but aren't able to fight back. Because if they do, they'll get sacked. That's what happens in toxic work environments. I feel like, yeah, exactly. And like the thing is, right? Look, hang on a minute. Let me just discuss this real quick because this is. I need to get this off my chest. It's like the dumbest fucking thing is this whole concept, right? Of well, I still want to support the devs. Hey, that's not how it works. They're employed by Ubisoft. Whether the game sells well or bombs is fucking irrelevant. They get paid because they're employed by the company. They get a fucking salary. It doesn't depend on the game. The people that lose out when a game fails is the upper management. And yes, sometimes people can lose a job. Sometimes they can. But that would be so incredibly telling of Ubisoft as a company if when their game bombs because people boycotted it because they're sexually abusing in other cases their employees, that instead of making changes in their company, they decide to lay people off. That would be so incredibly telling and it would give them more shit. So yeah, people could, in a very rare circumstance, lose their job because of this. That 100% could happen. And if it does, it's still a win for us, because look how bad that would be for Ubisoft. When they look at a situation and go, right, people are boycotting our game. We've made not as much money in this tax year because people are boycotting our games because we're sexually abusing our employees. Everyone knows that. The industry fucking knows that. And then Ubisoft from that goes, well, what can we do about that? We'll sack people. That wouldn't do them any good. It would do them worse. That would be terrible fucking publicity. That would be so bad. And it would only help our cause more. So it's bullshit to say, I'm going to keep buying Assassin's Creed because I want to support Ubisoft employee _01. No, you're not helping anybody. You're not fucking helping anybody. It's just an excuse because you can't stop buying video games because you're a selfish cunt. That's what it comes down to. You're just fucking selfish. You don't care about the scenario. You don't care about the fucking devs. That's bullshit. You don't give a shit about the devs. You're not doing it because you want to support the devs. You're doing it because you can't stop playing Assassin's Creed. That's what you're doing here, and you don't want to fucking admit it. You want it to be this fucking. You want it to be a virtuous point. You want to keep your morality while buying these games and supporting this toxic company. That's what it comes down to. People are just fucking liars. They're lying to themselves. They're lying to everybody. It's just, my god. And it's just such a ridiculous point. Like, it's just such a ridiculous point to make. It just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. You don't care about the devs. These people don't care about the devs. They're like, oh, well, I couldn't do it because then think about the devs that aren't getting paid. Like, that. One, that's not how it works, and two, you don't actually care. You don't actually care. It's just so stupid. If you cared, you might care more about people getting sexually abused. You might care about these people that are being, you know, treated differently because of their race over in Ubisoft Singapore. You might care about all of these various things that are toxic in the workplace if you fucking cared about the devs as much as you claim to do as your reason for buying Assassin's Creed 54. Like, man, it's just, it's fucking ridiculous. It's just ridiculous to me. It really is, and it's one of the. I just don't want anything to do with Ubisoft anymore, other than trying to fucking fight them, because just their community of people that are still there defending them. Like, you've got the community of people that are against them, but within that community, you've got a subsect of people that refuse to fight them. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, I hate them too, but also I'm going to buy their games and post about their games, and I'm not going to boycott them, and I'm actually going to demonize you for doing so, but I'm also on your side too, #hold Ubisoft accountable. Like, fuck off. Why is it so difficult to fight a company? Like, why is it so difficult for you? Video games don't matter. Why, like, oh, man, I just don't know. I just don't know. It's just fucking mad to me. It's just been driving me fucking insane. If you saw a shit game, you wouldn't buy it. Surely that would affect the devs as well. Yeah, exactly! Exactly! Like, do you think about that when you don't buy a game that you think looks bad? Yeah, you don't fucking worry about it then, do you? Like, if you see a game that looks bad and everyone on the internet also thinks it looks bad, you don't go, well, I'm gonna buy it anyway, because think about the devs! They work so hard on it! No, it's because you don't care about that, and you just want to play Assassin's Creed. That's literally what it is. Oh my god, people are so fucking stupid. I just want Ubisoft to fucking end. They're just so shit. I fucking want Eve's head on a fucking spike. Fuck that cunt. It's actually ridiculous. The more and more that comes out, and the fact they still have anyone supporting them openly, is just ridiculous to me. I'm just not gonna stop fucking fighting them. I can take the segment and put it as a clip, and I'm gonna make a video on this new article. My god, man. I'm just looking at this fucking Kotaku article. Ubisoft Singapore has always been kind of known internally to be one of the worst Ubisoft studios in terms of culture. People would visit from other studios and be like, what the fuck is wrong here? Oh my god. Fuck this company. Fuck this company. We're just not gonna stop. Keep using the hashtag. Just keep going with it. I think we can do something. I genuinely do think we can do something if we just keep on them. Because they're more and more keeps piling up, and they're fucking scared. You see, like, their little reports where they're like, oh, we're concerned that we won't be able to keep employees, and, like, they've put that to, like, an urgent thing. I asked some guy to stop using the hashtag with AC screenshots, and he just stopped using the hashtag entirely. Like, that's mad to me. That you can know everything that's going on, you can understand how these games are being made, and you can still litter your Twitter with hashtag hold Ubisoft accountable, but also here's 500 screenshots of Odyssey. It's just, it must just be this mindset of these people living online. Like, they live on Twitter and they just don't understand. They just can't understand. Like, it's like they've detached the two segments. It's like, no, but I also really want to play video games and post those pictures of video games. But also, I guess rape is bad as well, isn't it? So, but I want to do both, and it's like, what? I just don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, maybe it's just because I live in the real world where, you know, if someone's treated that badly, that matters much, much more to me, and always will, than any fucking piece of entertainment media. How fucked is it? Doesn't that just show how fucked the world is that we live in? Like, just how backwards it is that people, that, like, entertainment products have got people, like, just wrapped around their fucking finger, like, that much, that people are not willing to stop playing them and stop buying them and stop giving money to companies that are openly doing these awful things. It's so crazy to me. It's so fucking crazy to me. It's like they don't care, but are too afraid to speak their mind, so they just lie through their teeth. Yeah, you'd rather play a video game than help. It's crazy. I don't know how you can, in good conscience, buy a Ubisoft game. I just don't know how you can do it. I don't know. It, like, now, specifically now. Forget everything that came before. Forget even the stuff that came out a couple weeks ago. Today, right now, how anyone could ever buy it. Like, I got a tweet the other day, and, like, I appreciate people wanting to help, but, like, you don't care, because they'll say something like, I got a tweet, or it was a comment or something, they were like, thanks so much for bringing attention to the Ubisoft stuff, man. Far Cry 6 will be my last Ubisoft game. Like, what? Wait, you mean the game... You mean the game coming out in months from now? You mean that game that you could cancel your pre-order for and not buy? You mean that game? Wait, what? Why will that be your don't buy it? You fake fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? But yeah, it's weird. Like, we spoke to Matty about it, and he said, like, his experience with Ubisoft has always been incredibly positive, and that's because I've said this before, they're masters of PR. They're masters of marketing. They know exactly how to twist people's opinion of them. Matty, like, said, you know, every single time he's dealt with Ubisoft, it's been so good. They will always send him out so much shit. They will always give him codes to games. They will always invite him to places. They work so closely with creators because they want as many people to have positive Ubisoft experiences as possible. Like, you know, as much as it's a meme, I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. I'm not going to. Like, I'm at the point where there is no compromise for me now. I'm going to fight Ubisoft until they're fucking gone, and that's it. There's no fucking compromise. There's no supporting the devs. There's no creating a positive environment. No, fuck that and fuck them. That's what we're doing now. They're fucking over, and I'm not going to take anything else. There is no compromise here. I'm not in the camp of trying to be positive, trying to create change positively, because you can't do that with people that don't think rationally and that are huge pieces of shit. It's like, I mean, obviously Ubisoft are not the Nazis, but imagine if our goal with the Nazis was to, like, you know, end their reign of oppression as positively as we possibly can. That just does not work for me. That doesn't seem like it's gonna work. And like you like Tyler, I didn't listen to the podcast because I just couldn't do it. I couldn't put myself through it. But Tyler went on that Sisterhood podcast and he stood up for our point of view and what we were planning on doing and why we thought what we did. And like their goal is to. I just don't see how you can see what's happened and be like, we're just going to be positive. It's not going to work. It's not going to work because they're going to manipulate and take control of you. You've got to be fucking ready to stand up for yourself. You can't just be like, oh, well, maybe if we be positive and create a nice community, we can fight back and make them see their wrongs. Like, no, they know what they're doing is wrong. They don't care. That's what it comes down to. We've got to remove these people and make actual change. Eve fucking knows it's wrong. It's not like he doesn't know it's wrong. You don't have to teach Eve that what he did was wrong. He fucking knows. He just doesn't care, and he's willing to use you as for fucking marketing. It's honestly embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing to see what Ubisoft did, because they're just there. They were trying to make a change and they were trying to do good things, but Ubisoft are just fucking conniving. It's not gonna. They're not gonna. You know, they're not just going to sit back and go, well, you've made a reasonable point there. Maybe we should change. No, it's not going to happen. The only way it's going to happen is if they lose money, if they lose support, if they get so much shit that they're forced to. Because if they can choose to not change, they fucking will. Because it's easier. It's the most cost-effective thing. It's why they didn't get rid of people like Ashraf Ismail, like Alex Amancio, like Sergey Haskot, because those people made them fucking money. If you get rid of those people, what you got to do, you got to look for talent that is on the same level, makes the same amount of money, is able to lead a team, and isn't a piece of shit. That costs time and money, and it's too difficult. If you can keep those people and keep it quiet so the public doesn't know, you can make as much money as possible without having to try very hard. And that's what Ubisoft has been run on for so many years. That's what they want to keep doing if they can, and we can't let them. And if you try to be positive and you try to make positive change, you're going to let them get away with it because they're going to trick you. And they're going to say, yeah, we'll put your tattoo in our game. And the devs are going to do that. And like the people at the top are going to manipulate that. Because don't get me wrong, the whole tattoo thing, the devs were on board and they were like, yeah, this lets people be seen. But then the PR guys at the top are going to use that to their advantage. And so you can't give them an inch. You can't, because they'll take a fucking mile. Yeah, it's like the one-handed swords. Yeah, they're so clever. They're so clever. They're like, let's save the one-handed swords. Oh shit, we're under pressure. What happened before? There was that. So that article came out, right? About the stuff happening, right? About how nothing's changed. What did they do? They dropped the Basim outfit. What happened recently when we got all of that other stuff coming out? They dropped one-handed swords. They keep doing it. They keep doing it. Every time something bad happens, they drop something that people really, really want. I wouldn't be surprised if they've got like some big game announcement sitting in the wings. They've got Assassin's Creed Infinity, and you just know it's going to make the biggest numbers in history. You just know. And I hope I can do enough to sway my audience to not get involved. I hope I can. I fucking hope I can. But I just feel that people are too... I don't know, man. It's the same way that I was for a long time, but I guess my cutting off point was, oh, Ubisoft rape people. I won't pay for these things anymore. And it also made me realize I shouldn't have been for a long time. I really shouldn't have been. But it's one of those things where I think people are just so involved with this that like it's almost part of their identity. They don't know what to do without it. It's like their fallback is always, oh, it's a new Assassin's Creed, I'll buy it, you know? Infinity is not just, and this is the only take I'll give on it, is not just made by an awful, awful company that we should not be supporting. It's also everything that I hate about video games rolled into one. Absolutely everything I hate about video games rolled into one. Microtransactions, live service, overpriced, warping of identity, watering down of ideas, absolutely no creative control. All of those things into one, it's just... man, it's just awful. And it's made by Ubisoft. It really is the flagship of rape company, isn't it? I think Darby's under contract to not talk about a lot of things. That's why he couldn't come on As Always podcast right away. And I don't know if we'll ever get him on now because we don't want to talk about Ubisoft stuff. I'd love to talk to him just about writing in general, though, and get him on to talk about his new game at his new studio. But I don't think we'll ever talk to him about Assassin's Creed, which is Sad, because, you know, a lot of those games were important to me and Tyler, but we can't. And yeah, I was talking about earlier, like, people playing, like I said, like, people playing Valhalla and still covering it, like, I think you're being a piece of shit. And I don't think you're necessarily a piece of shit if you're playing the old ones, especially if your whole channel is around that and you're passionate about the creation process. And, like, it's, like, I don't think promoting, I mean, I don't want to do it, but I don't think people promoting AC1 and AC2 are necessarily supporting Ubisoft, but I just don't want anything to do with the company. Like, it makes me feel so sad, because seeing Ezio or something makes me feel sick. Like, it really does. Like, I see, like, only a few months ago was I saying, like, how, every time I see original Assassin's Creed iconography, it makes me feel so hyped, right? I literally don't feel that anymore. At all. I see a Hidden Blade and I feel sick. Like, I feel like something that I followed for years and years and years, and that was very important to me, got me into video games, like, set me on this career path that I'm on. I can't look at anymore because of the company. I can't look at Assassin's Creed. It's just, see, this is the thing, right? So, like Ben just said, like, so there's apparently a similar thing happening with Quantic Dream, right? Like, what do I do then? Do I not cover those, right? The way I see it is, with Ubisoft, when it first all came out, I never said anything about boycotting, and I didn't boycott myself. I played Valhalla, and I bought Valhalla, and I had no intention of boycotting them. But when the second report came out and said, right, they've not actually changed, and actually these people have been moved around, and there are people still at the company, and now we're hearing loads and loads more, it's clear to me that the only thing that Ubisoft will listen to is us not buying their games. And so to me, that's the approach I'm taking with Ubisoft. So to me, it's like, that's just what I'm going to do. I can't buy those games anymore, because I can't sit and do that when it's clear they have no intention of fixing things. Now, with other companies, I'm not as close to those situations, so for me, it's more difficult to get all the facts and to understand the depth to which things are happening. With Ubisoft, to me, it seems very different. It seems like Ubisoft is this culture, this company-wide issue that spans every country they have a studio in, that is enabled by the Yves Guillemot and his brothers. These people at the very top, the people that own the company, that founded the company, founded it with this idea in mind. To me, it's not the same as hearing some reports of bad things happening in a Microsoft studio, or, you know, at Rocksteady or Insomniac, right? Some bad things happening here and there. To me, feels different to Ubisoft's issue, which I feel was founded with that ingrained in it. I think that the Guillemot brothers founded this company with, you know, this sexual culture as a part of the company. I feel like that's just been bred into it and was never able to escape it. And I don't feel that Microsoft has an abusive work culture necessarily. There's obviously issues and things, but for Ubisoft, I feel it's a culture problem, and I feel that's completely different. So, yeah. Fuck, man. I think we should stop talking about this now. I think I'm going to maybe edit down what I just talked about into a thing. We'll get back to Final Fantasy VII. I'm going to quickly go grab...